Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we're back to Prey. Let's continue. So we're in the Arboretum. We wasted a lot of bullets in the gravity utility tunnel, the guts. And so I really had to just play around with the recycler quite a bit to hopefully have even a decent amount of bullets. Yeah, we really don't have a lot. We're low on glue gun bullets, we're low on shotgun shells, we're low on 9mm bullets. This game definitely does not seem to give you better resources if you are playing on easier difficulties. So it definitely brings this gameplay mechanic of constantly trying to refill your bullets forward. And yeah, certainly in a new game plus element, you might have fully upgraded guns that then do more damage and require less bullets, but that's not the situation in the first playthrough, certainly. If I was to put like a recycler here, it might break all of these things. What was that? I don't even know, like the main story really wants us just to go talk to Alex, I think, more than anything. And then another main story wants us to go, yeah, I don't know, maybe he was up here? And that was like a jump scare? Let's just see what the objectives are. Detour is enter deep storage to find the arming key to destroy things. Meanwhile, if I could ever get back to the lobby, I could get back, or the hardware labs, or the neuromod division, or the crew quarters. There's all these side missions, which it really doesn't feel like we would not do those side missions. It doesn't feel like it's just going to be so easy that you could just end the game early. It feels like there's probably 2 more acts from where we are. And very possibly there's a third style of neuromods that you can unlock, but this does indicate that there's possibly only maybe 3 or 4 styles of typhons that we're gonna see. But yeah, my radiation was also very high. I think I can probably just ignore that for a while, and like it will just go down as I'm slowly playing the game.
Morgan, are you alright? That typhon, there's nothing in the research. Stay away from it.
So it almost seems like I was supposed to have made it up to this point to like to get to see it, but I was walking so slowly I didn't even see it. But I guess we are getting introduced to a new idea that there is a new typhon available. And then here's a lift that doesn't seem like it does anything. Like, doesn't really make a lot of sense that you might need to come over here. All we've got is a banana peel. One of the load screens that loaded in when I loaded back into this game, because yes, it's been a while since I last played, said that there were multiple ways to solve mini puzzles often, but not always. I don't think I'm going to go through there. It's also worth mentioning that you have the whole Prey name here. You ignore the fact that there was a game already called Prey. Let's see, how much health does a med kit give us now? That was another weird thing. 54 health. That just upgraded to 54 somehow. It didn't, like, it was 150% effectiveness on med kits, and then doesn't feel like there's anything else. If I had leverage 3, which would require 6 more mods, I could get through this door. Yeah, and that does make an argument to do this. I could also potentially put a recycling mod grenade there. But yeah, this definitely feels like the only way to go this time is this way. Which, yeah.
While you're up there, you could look into why the lift is stuck. It'd be a lot faster and safer than having to fly through the guts again.
So now we have an objective to fix the lift, which honestly, if I could fix the lift, then I would definitely opt to go back and do some of these side missions. So yeah, this game is called Prey because Bethesda / Arcane made another game called Prey, which was a completely different game, or at least a different enough game that you wouldn't call this even a spiritual remake of that game. In that game you were playing as a Native American person who was abducted by aliens, and you were running around shooting in a space station, so I could see where you might have started with similar concepts.
Good evening, Talos. Dinner is served in the cafeteria from 6 to 8 p.m.
Alright, we can see there's an enemy that way. We can see there's a turret this way. We can see there's a main lift. Can we look from more of a map perspective? No. But then, only maybe a year or two after the release of Prey, this video game called Prey, there was a movie called Prey that was also released that is a prequel to the Predator series, i.e. it's a character being attached to or being attacked by the predators, and thus it is the prey. I guess technically I am the prey of the Typhons in this game, but yeah, you really can't own the copyright on such a simple term like prey. They do seem to have like a registered trademark for probably only in the category of video games for prey. But if you made a game that was Prey: Operation Talos I, or just Prey: Talos I, you probably could get away with that, and it would probably go to a court case. Arguably, they should have thought of a better name or a subtitle for something like this. Of course, it is the one-word games that get a lot of people's attention, BioShock. Now, on the other hand, BioShock also is not really a common vernacular word, so I imagine you could own the copyright for the phrase BioShock. But it's probably been used in prior art, so arguably you couldn't even own it outside of the category of video games. Entry 165, I managed to reduce the growth time to around 10 minutes per fruit. It's remarkable to see them sprout from practically nothing and grow into an edible size and ripeness before my own eyes. Most importantly, I think I've obtained clearance for wider range testing of growth formula from Dr. Kelstrip. All that's left is actually fabricating it and then inserting it into the sprinkler system. I'm keeping the fabrication plan on my person, as I have no doubt others would love to claim credit for it, Dr. Julian Howard. So I guess we're looking for Julian Howard to put a growth formula in here, and then that might make plants grow and maybe give me a decent amount of resources. Although, arguably, from the looks of it, I wonder... Yeah, this is probably a jump scare, first of all, but I wonder if it would be better to kill all the plants in this area. Although that might also kill human oxygen levels on the space station. Let's see, level 1 hacking. I suppose if you couldn't hack at all at this point, you'd be unable to get in that area. Wrench. Note, Julian stopped by, but you're out. FYI, reviewed your lab notes. Plants pose no health risk. You should be good to go in Arboretum hands. Right, so we have a mimic. Do we want to hit it with that, or just shoot it with that? I think that mimic may have been stuck in the wall. And I just loaded this game if that is the case, so it definitely would have been a bit of a glitch. I have seen definitely some glitchiness. This game is hardly selling the CryEngine as much as I would have liked it to sell the CryEngine. Though it would have been really weird too if it became a situation where I was very happy with the CryEngine and then the vast majority of games are using the Unreal Engine or some other first party engine. You could probably get some organic material out of the fertilizer stacks if I were to throw like a recycle grenade in here. I think we probably don't want to bother with that. Let's see, when we hit this is just a wall. So they're kind of experimenting with organic walls. Here you can see from the top here, we can see the moon, we can see quite a bit of stuff. There's the main lift. There's a room. It does feel like there probably are just going to be mimics all over the place. And I question if there's going to be turrets. And I question if we're supposed to particularly jump around in places. The main lift is this way, so either we run around and have our fun here, or we just walk to the main lift. And I think we just run around and have our fun here. Different kind of water fountains. You'd think that there might be a whole bunch of plants that you could gather plant clippings from. If anything, this is kind of highlighting where the idea of plant clippings probably first originated as an idea. Let's see. Repair that. Fine. But we don't have repair 3 to fortify.
Proximity sensor reset.
course, if we did repair these and then start using the Typhon DNA modifications, then we would just get the turrets attacking us, and then we'd have to hack them. Although, in all fairness, hacking them probably isn't that big of a problem either, because we're kind of doing everything.
Diagnostic check. Purpose. IFF. Nominal power load. Nominal actuators. Nominal tilt handling error. Please contact engineering.
Ideally, we'd kind of want to find we'd want to find a security office somewhere around here. But yeah, if we were going to see a security office, wouldn't it be like back this way?
Everything go well?
Eventually. Had to wait a while. Two assholes from the sales team chose that exact moment to stand under the alarm bell and smoke cigars.
So it's off Talos. My clients are eager.
Yeah, just made the last shipment. Should be Earthside by morning, Pacific time.
Good. I'll be leaving another package for you after tomorrow's shift.
Drop site?
The lobby. Assuming it works.
Of course it works. 3 taps of the wrench. That'll pop it open. All of them will work that way by tomorrow.
You're adorable when you get proud of your gadgets.
Don't patronize me, Lily.
So there's a whole smuggling ring element, which that's almost directly taken from Bioshock 1. Recovering stolen goods, I guess, is now our goal. Right, let's search everything first before we summon in a medical character. So I'm not sure we really know where those locations are though yet. So we'll have to move this one with leverage 1 first. Just put it there. And then move this next.
Obstruction detected. Please clear aperture of debris.
Guess we'll just put that there. And then we're just looking up high and low just to make sure that there isn't some other thing to pick up.
Requesting new operator.
And just stand out of the way.
Welcome.
TranStar
Maybe I can help you.
490.
Diagnosing. Bruising, abrasions, fatigue.
At this point,
I'll have you feeling better soon.
it does
Good
kind
as
of
new.
feel
Don't forget to complete a patient questionnaire.
like you
Your
can't.
feedback will be invaluable.
You're just gonna start like it feels like you're gonna start not even really having an argument, a reason
Proximity sensor reset.
to what am I trying to say here? I wonder where this goes. Maintenance access panel. Could I've opened that from that side? Let's not take on that guy quite yet. Probably could take him on, but you know, there's a lot of opportunity. Otherwise, let's just see. So is this going to take us to the lobby, but at the top? Yeah, at any point it feels like you could be at much further to the end of the game, much closer to the end of the game.
Morgan, that Typhon is an unknown type. From what I can tell, it's the source of the problem with the lift. The Phantom you unleashed in Psychotronics had similar disruptive abilities, only this one seems more powerful. Skip.
So now, this is the Technopath. We've seen these before. Let's see. Weakness electric, so throwing an EMP grenade at it might not be a terrible idea.
New sound active available.
Let's see. EMP charge. That didn't work either. No wave transmitter. We'll go ahead and cross that and see what that does. Just not watching my health well enough. There. Let's listen to the
Morgan, that Typhon is an
information.
unknown type. From what I can tell, it's the source of the problem with the lift. The Phantom you unleashed in Psychotronics had similar disruptive abilities, only this one seems more powerful. Scanning it would tell you more.
Alright. So let's start by scanning. And then let's just use the Q wave on it. He is taking control of the item, the operators. See, but scanning it would really be more about bringing up research here. Weakness is electric, explosive, psychic, and EMP.
New sound aptitude available.
I don't think the Q wave is gonna work here. Particularly well. Let's get our health back up and then... Yeah, he's just like shocking me. Which is burning through my health. I should be in this mode, I guess. Yeah. It seems like your guns fire faster when you're in that mode too, which is crazy. There we go.
Nice work. The lift is responding again. That Typhon hijacked the hardware, even the software running the system, all the way down to the machine code, reprogramming it on the fly. Fascinating. And alarming. I can patch up the code. You should be fine. Take the lift if you need to move quickly between the 3 main decks on Talos I. It has a stop in the lobby and down in life support.
Okay. So now, I'm just gonna shoot this guy because he seems to be stuck and can't actually get any closer. And we'll just take out this other operator too. Also. Just make sure. Make sure we kind of only pull the trigger when it's red, so we're confirmed to have a hit. This really makes this a far from run and gun experience compared to, say, BioShock. There we go. So that may be the entirety of a boss fight in this game. If the idea is that you really don't ever have to run
Good evening, Talos.
and gun,
This is a reminder that the
That-
identity of guests
that would
visiting
be
Talos is strictly confidential.
interesting. We got 15 Typhoon organs and a Typhon ganglia, or ganglion, whatever. Which that seems like that might be something new. I don't think I really need to worry about there being yet another Typhon here. Wonder if this would ring if I shot it. Maybe a little metallic, but did not definitely ring out like a bell. So I have to say that's pretty unimpressive as an experience. Then from these guys we can recover things. Drink water. Let's listen to this guy.
Alex! Damn it. Hold on. I'm encrypting the rest of this.
So now we have a new encryption thing. Which I guess we'd have to try and de-encrypt. Download DeVries decryption key in the Talos I lobby. So now serving the Arboretum, so we could get on the elevator and go down. And I guess, yeah, he was just straight up hacking that. Okay. There's nothing on the other side of these doors. But weirdly, this seems like we are already in the lobby. What would the map consider us? Yeah, it says we are in... If we look at the station map, we are in the Talos I lobby. At this point, we are just at the top. Level 3, we know what that is. Level 2, we know what that is. Level 1, we know what that is. And basement and life support would be about the only one we haven't been to. So down to the lobby we go. It's probably worth it to pull out the gun, but we can't pull out the gun. And it definitely feels like there's interconnecting sections and space sections. And now we just have a Weaver. Right. Seems like we cannot do anything until we're out. Alright, we've already scanned that guy completely. Let's go into this. No, we haven't scanned him completely. More and more really is getting down to a point where these enemies that are big enemies are going to have to just be taken out. No waiver, Psycho Shell. There's a psionic nest. We'll just hit that with a glue gun. There. With cystoids being taken out with a glue gun. We can see that they are proving themselves to be more of a dangerous experience as rolling landmines in non-zero gravity situations. I think that's probably everything though. Okay. Nope, that's not everything. Something somewhere. Okay. It almost feels to me like I probably should just use the glue gun on these first of all. Like, it feels like there might be some slight changes in this whole environment from where it was before, and definitely there's changes as to just how you're playing this whole area. Let's see. As far as the smuggle ring, hidden goods, hit it 3 times with a wrench. What possibly would we hit 3 times with a wrench? Like, you could hit so many different things in the lobby. And you would assume it would be something somewhat obvious. It's probably not one of these carrier things. It's probably something on a wall. Yeah, I just don't want to... Wouldn't want to run around this whole area looking for it, but that seems like that's kind of your only option. Like, here's a panel, for instance. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, how many times potentially would we have to do that? Like, there's just definitely a lot of stuff that if you hit it, it would smash 3 times. And then that feels like that could have been something. Well, I don't think it's worth it. Let's go ahead and repair.
Private material inconclusive. Logging calibration required.
Alright. Just go ahead and press this down and deploy it again. I think it's worth it to go back to our office and check up on that. The other thing we could certainly do is like bring up our inventory. Like, we could bring up our objectives and just make sure that there isn't another thing somewhere. This annoying scanner. Still a thing. January, no new information. Unless that was it. Yeah. Be kind of weird.
I have more autonomy than a typical operator. The contents of the video are sensitive. Only a flesh and blood person could handle the responsibility, I presume.
And see, now January is telling us things that we would have gotten out of conversations with her a long, long time ago, I think. And I assume that there's just never going to be any new emails or anything like that. Okay. The reason mostly to come back here certainly is just to transfer your junk over. Go ahead and transfer over this, because I just don't think I really need spare parts. Like, not more than I need bullets, which is really the mess. I'm not even really that low on the regular on the 9mm. I'm low on shotgun shells. And then it's also just totally all about anything that's just going to give us 5 health points and not 5 psi points. Might as well be gotten rid of, just to make room. And let's see, we had new plans. We can do with the fabricator. Disruptor batteries. Stun disruptor gun. Why would we need that? But we're still short on material for bullets. We can't make more neuromods. We could make suit repair kits, though. And we do have an argument around making... Let's just make one so we make something here. But otherwise this is going to be quite the wasteful experience. What I'm trying to get down to is a general feeling. Oh, let's check our objectives too. Just trying to get a general idea of where new enemies might spawn and where old enemies might go. Okay, see this. Do no harm. Devise decryption key in the Talos library. You know what? I think that probably means we do need to go back this way and go into the medical facility, which that'll give us a nice
Good evening, Talos.
example
Registration for the Talos Employees Talent
whether
Show
we'll
is
run
now
into
open. See Galen in the crew quarters front desk to reserve a slot.
a lot of new characters, or maybe just a little bit. Like, we might go through the store and we might just see a mimic every now and then.
System alert. Repair is needed.
There's the decryption key. So if we could telepathically get into his office,
Repair is needed.
or morph
Certified engineer.
into his office. Yeah, I probably never even searched that. That's probably
System
not
alert.
like
Repair is
that's
needed.
refilled. Yeah, I don't think we need to really search for anybody. Yeah, we straight up just can unlock this. Okay. So these furniture parts don't feel like they're much of anything. The speakers don't feel like they're much of anything. A lot of these fancy lobby decorations don't feel like much of anything. They just exist. No way you would have been able to shoot that lock from where we were looking. Pause now if you want to read this. Interesting, they're saying cigarettes is perceived as no more harmful than drinking a soda. Okay. Files. Transfer file. Wouldn't be surprised if something jumps out around you. And see, at this point, you'd think they would give you a new audio log, or that you would have to put the audio device in the computer. Do we have the code for the safe? I bet the code is told to us. Let's look at the emails first. Find the psychological evaluation. Find my psychological eval. Need those materials in my office. From this point forward, only speak through an encrypted transcribe. I'll send you the decryption key. You should be able to download it from your workstation. Trevor Young is one of our scientists. He was exposed to inner containment area without proper protection. He's gone through observation and psychotronics and had his most recent neuromods removed as a precaution, but we'd like to keep him under sustained quarantine until we can be certain no lingering psychological effects. Work with Dr. Cole on this. Thanks, Alex. You. So, that guy's probably crazy, but I probably should just free him anyways. And so you can't just hold the back button to play the last audio log. So I have to go all the way over here, find the last audio log, Morgan's breakdown. Like this was, I guess, hit play.
Alex! Damn it. Hold on. I'm encrypting the rest of this. Okay, Dr. Cole already wiped the recording of Morgan's breakdown off his computer. The last copy is hidden in his office. I'm not going back. You'll have to get it yourself. A-C-B-A-C. Good luck.
ACABC. I wonder if that's a code or if that is just straight up like all cops are beautiful or whatever ACAB stands for. Like, nah, it's probably a code. Probably I have to play something on a piano from the sides, from the looks of it. Let's see, 4242. Definitely is worth trying as a code. Like, they don't put any dates on these certificates. Like 4242. Right. Then let's check what this said. There's a code in here. Doesn't seem like there's a code here. Where else could there possibly be a passcode before we just hack it? It does just seem like some of these safes are not designed where they have a code somewhere around. 1, 2, 3. just to make sure. I guess we could also go 1, 2, 3. You could potentially pick up any number of things, and any of it could be a clue, or it could be something hidden downward. See, the audio seems like it's changing, like there's something that's just spawned now. Okay. This is bad. B. I'm gonna get shocked. B. Yeah, that one just seemed like that didn't give me a good enough chance. X. B. Yeah, the only way I would have been able to do that first one would have been basically by running through the shocks, which maybe that would have been the right move.
Repair is needed. Please contact a qualified engineer.
Okay.
All systems
Repair
operational. Thank you.
that guy. And then I need one more spare part to repair this guy, and I think that definitely is the goal, is you get something extra for repairing this guy. So can I
System alert. Repair is needed. Please contact a qualified engineer. Are you here for an appointment?
let's see. You really don't need to drink water. Okay. So AC, it wasn't it? Yeah. Right.
Hello. Are you here for an appointment? Superficial injuries. Nothing of portable medical care. Don't try to.
Alright. Could we break down something for spare parts? Do we have another thing? I mean, I could like take the disruptor gun out of the picture, since I haven't upgraded it, and get a spare part that
Good
way.
as new. You can fill out a service questionnaire at the front desk.
Don't think it's supposed to do that.
See you there.
Okay.
Hello. Good to see you again, Dr. Yu.
They don't have the key card to get into secure
Hello. Are you here
pharmaceuticals.
for an appointment?
Yeah, the odds of there just being a spare part extra, I think, is probably too low. I could shoot one of these
Hello. Nice to see you.
and probably get a spare part from that. Waste some bullets. Okay. Oh. Homo sapien mind controlled. Right, well, I think he's safer in there than out here. Definitely seems mind controlled. I mean, I could free him. And I just don't have a way, I think, of freeing him. Let's see, neuromods. Let's see. Like, this ability here might be to free people who have been mind controlled. But this ability might also be that. I doubt it's a morph ability. It might be a telepathy ability. Psycho shock. Yeah, scannable targets, mind controlled humans. Yeah, I just don't know if I agree with any of that. Meanwhile, I'm looking for leverage 3 or repair 3 as my next options, and hopefully I'm going to get enough neuromods to get a suit mod going forward. Gunsmith too also is something I should be thinking about. But yeah, it's within these 3 that I'm targeting. Alright, research on mind-controlled humans. Weakness, glue, null wave, psychic stun. So let's say we were to go ahead and just make a hard save. I'm not even going to make a quick save. We were to switch to the glue cannon, and we were to free this guy. 0, 6, 1, 8. Yeah. Not even given a chance at that.
Good evening, Talos. We'd like to remind you that company
We do have a
policy
code here,
requires you to log any
7324
voluntary extension of
for
your work hours
Devries.
with the station counselor. We know the projects aboard Talos.
Alright. Let's see. Quick load.
Hello. Good to see you again, Dr. Yu.
Seven, 324 apparently was the thing we were supposed to do here.
Hello. Are you here for an appointment?
Okay.
System alert.
Good
Well,
evening,
maybe
Talos.
I can help
Dr.
you.
Hadley Dalton will deliver a supplemental seminar on neural connectomes in the lobby training center later this week. Sounds exciting. Space is limited, so reserve your seat by emailing Dr. Dalton.
So who was Devries? Him? So I could have gotten into this area earlier, I guess. Like, who is that? It's Trevor talking to me apparently through the wall. So I guess the trick here is in the audio log. We'll play it again.
Alex! Damn it. Hold on. I'm encrypting the rest of this. Okay, Dr. Cole already wiped the recording of Morgan's breakdown off his computer. The last copy is hidden in his office. I'm not going back. You'll have to get it yourself. A-C-B-A-C. Good luck.
A C B A C. Okay. So that opened a safe behind here. Behind this, we have a new transcribe and some more neuromods.
You seem frustrated.
I have months that are just gone. I've been listening to the logs, reading the research, playing catch-up.
Do you know how many times we've had this conversation? This is the 5th time.
Does it always go the same way?
Not always.
What does that mean?
What do you think it means?
I think it means you should be concerned as my counselor.
You left yourself a message. Would you like to listen to it?
No.
I think it would help.
I said no. That's not me.
Why do you say that?
I don't know. I just know.
You agreed to this. This was all your idea. Yours and Alex's.
I didn't agree to any of this. That Morgan is not me. I would never... Do you know what's going on in psychotronics? Do you?
Hello. Good
If
to see
I
you
did,
again,
I
Dr.
couldn't
Yu.
say. You know that.
What do you know about the Typhon?
We shouldn't talk about them. Not without your brother present.
Them. You do know, you snake. How can you sit there?
Morgan, take a deep breath. Here.
I don't want a pill. I want this station shut down. I want Earth...
Morgan.
I said no!
Okay. I'm going to call Alex.
So, seemingly I won it out. And the objective is now complete. Alright. Well,
Hello. Nice to see
just
you.
to get this done, we only need one spare part. I'll just go into the inventory and we'll just dismantle this weapon. And we'll see if we ever find another stun gun.
System alert. Repair is needed. Please contact a qualified engineer.
Now, by fixing that,
Diagnosing. Hello, trauma or illness is detected. I'm afraid there's nothing I can do for you, unless you're interested in medical trivia or a joke.
so
My mistake.
why would I have fixed that? Because that's not gonna fix this. Like, it's a medical bot. Yeah, it's not gonna repower this computer. If anything, I suspect the computer is just there. This is interesting, the cars are just floating now. Like, you would
didn't see you
think
there.
that possibly it's a case where the note here would mean something. Or even that maybe you would be able to jump up and climb on these, but that doesn't really seem like the case. Even if you could jump up there and climb on those, that really wouldn't do anything
Hello.
for you.
Good to see you again, Dr. Yu.
If there was a key card under it, that would have made some sense.
Hello. Good to see you again, Dr. Yu.
Alright, well, as far as the secure pharmaceutical with no smoking, we still don't really seem to have a way to get into that area. And I don't think if you were to,
Welcome. Maybe I can help you.
there would be a way to send out more operators or send them back and dismantle them.
Welcome. Maybe I can help you.
And yeah, I came in this area somewhat early on, so I wouldn't put it past believability that I missed something. This is also an area where we ran into a early
Hello,
encounter
are you here
with
for an appointment?
phantoms. In fact, very powered up phantoms. Let's see. Could I hack a level 3 computer? Probably. Seems like we probably should know what kind of corpse that is at this point. Alright. Let's go. Gotta do this pretty smoothly, and I can't help but feel like with a mouse this probably would be a lot easier. But they give you more time anyways. Let's see. Let's see, I know what paraplexus is. The records are sealed by government order. My hands are tied. Bi-weekly booster of neurostem plexum to offset the mild psygnomic fatigue. But NSP is a treatment for many ailments, including white noise, paraplexic muscle paralysis due to neurological disorder. If it is late onset white noise, then that would explain why Wilson has no neuromods, not simply because she has refused them, as she has claimed Wilson's brain has never been scanned, which I also find unusual, especially for a TranStar employee. I requested her file to see if any member of her family had a history of the disorder, but those of her parents are also not accessible. So there's this whole conversation where they are questioning whether one of the persons has a disease, but it's frankly impossible at this point. There's just so many people to keep them all straight in your head. So yeah, there might be a very interesting backstory here. But only if you spend the extra time to read it. Otherwise, it seems like that's basically nothing. Meanwhile, that's not going to lead towards this door being unlockable. So, leave it at that.
Hello. Good to see you again, Dr. Yu.
Now, to repair a turret, we don't have the turret replication ability yet. So, if I was to break this, it's probably a mistake. It is a little silly that there isn't a specific, like, it's kind of silly that there isn't like a specific item like Coke machines or something that you could just break and get spare parts from other than weapons. Let's go ahead and look and see if there's anything else. Nope. We definitely want to go to the neuromod division. There's nothing else
Scanning target.
to
Type
do.
material inconclusive. Logging calibration request.
Attention. Station leadership has issued an alert. All personnel should report to muster stations immediately and await further instructions.
This is a secure transition. That's apparently something to the shuttle bay. Which apparently I could just go to the shuttle bay now. I don't really have a reason to go to the shuttle bay. Let's see. If you were going to have a smuggling drop, I doubt you'd have it right across from the security station, but
Good evening, Talos.
who knows?
As a reminder, all personnel must complete monthly physicals during their stay aboard Talos I. Dr. DeVries promises to make them as quick and painless as possible.
Yeah, and I doubt a machine like that getting tapped 3 times would unlock a secret hatch. But yeah, it really could just be anything at all. It could also just not be on this floor. It does kind of look like you could jump down here. Let's make a quick save and just see what happens if we do jump down here. Alright, let's get out of this mode because that's annoying. It would be interesting if it turned out you could like shoot the glass or break the glass and get down here. Particularly with my glide ability, I could land safely down there. I would have some trouble certainly getting back up. And once you scan somebody, they just are there forever. Alright, well. Nope, this is security glass. So they're not going to let you. Alright. It would have been a little weird if they'd let you get down there because it definitely doesn't feel like there's anything there. And if we just started like tapping 3 times on the wall when there's nothing, that would be something we would do forever. I suppose if my scanner saw something, it could be helpful. And see, we have this whole human resources, and we still couldn't get to this without level 3 leverage. Although, maybe you could get to this. No. I think you could probably get to human resources with a recycler grenade. And we'll do that if we come back when we come back this way. 1, 3. That would have been a good candidate. Yeah, it does kind of feel like it would be tap a pipe 3 times. But now we're out of where we were, and now we're back to the neuromod division. A lot stronger, probably a lot safer of a position.
More specimens required.
Okay, I was not expecting to take on a nightmare.
Vital signs.
Okay. Now, we might be in a bad position here where we are just straight up. Like, we need to.
More specimens required.
go ahead and heal. We'll just double heal.
Vital signs critical.
There's almost like there's a timer on it, too. Let's go with the Typhon lure.
Scan complete. More specimens required.
So definitely feels like the idea is to run away, because I don't think much of anything can take on this guy. Like, I don't think I've got anything that even slightly can affect this. So let's throw a recycle charge.
Scan complete. More specimens required.
Let's see. Like, I'm trying everything I can think of, and it is not working. So, like, the Psionic Blast didn't work either. So I think this is straight up just shoot this guy in the face with a shotgun. Alright.
More specimens required.
And weirdly, it seems like this is working. He doesn't seem like he can really see me very well. So that was a Vader killed a Nightmare. That took a lot of my shotgun shells. And that guy's body is hunchbacked and warped. Still can't get into that area. First things first, though. Definitely get all up in this Nightmare corpse. December destroyed. Might need this M3012. That's Alex's office safe. What in the world was that? Just a phantom shooting at me? Yeah, come down here and fight, Phantom. Or make me come up there, which my glue gun path got broken. Alright. Seems like there's phantoms everywhere. Trying to hit me. Let's just do this proper. Then, want to take me on? I'll just take them on. We'll try and get some stealth hits in here. And I want to make sure my shots are actually going to hit, so I'm not just going to start firing at him. I need to get closer. I don't think these guys can really see me. You're getting resources from killing these mimics, but I don't know if they are the right resources to end up with more bullets. Here we have a level 2 access panel. Are we somewhat safe now? We need a level 2 hacker to get into this. This is the volunteer testing area. What does that really look like on the map? I don't know if we ever downloaded the map area. Alright, well. It definitely seems like the game is more than willing to let you run into stronger enemies now. There's no more, oh, this is the starting area and thus everything's gonna be easy. Throwing that nightmare at us was quite a surprise. And it does potentially create a Big Daddy equivalent to this game, but honestly it doesn't feel anything. It didn't feel anything like a Big Daddy, in the sense that Big Daddies, when they get your attention, when you get the Big Daddy's attention, they stick around and stay around until you kill them. There's no wait 2 minutes until they get bored and disappear as an idea. I have no idea where I'm ending up here. Seems like I'm just going to end up in the volunteers' quarters. If I go here, let's just try not to fall downward. Alright, well, we ended up back in the volunteers' quarters. And this was the place where we, like, turned off the power. And then I think we turned the power back on. This might have been also a place where we were running very high on resources and kind of back to that same situation. I'm not sure that there's anything more to be done in this area. And this was one of these weird broken doors, which we've still never really seen as something that you can use unless you had the morph ability. And see, even here, it doesn't seem like there's like a way you could climb up. Well, I guess you can. So let's see where this takes us. Okay. Have to be careful to get everything here. I can carry that stuff out. We now have another chipset. Let's see what we can do with this. Collect more disruptor and Q-beam emission from robotic corpses. I will take that more than happily. So we've got no things to scan, I think. Just a couple turrets, which we could potentially try and deploy. If we did try to deploy them, would they actually help me, or would they just be corrupted too? This is another area, and potentially a dangerous area. Right. There is a technopath, I guess that way. See, they're all trying to get towards me, and but I don't think they can shoot through the glass. So hey, there's a whole person here. I missed. And that. Alright, and here we go. Let's make sure our bullets actually matter. Again. Don't want to waste a bunch of bullets. I don't know how this guy I don't know how these guys got here. Seems like they did just break through the glass. Which, okay. I don't know what happened to the other turret, though. Let's see. Like, we had a turret, and seemingly I threw it through the glass, and it clipped straight through there. Got power. Pause now if you want to read this. So we want to turn on power. Let's see if we can take this with us. And then just leave it there, I guess. Yeah, there's like a turret down there. So maybe the turret did help somehow. Maybe that's not the turret I dropped, even. But this is the guy with the whole copy protection path to stop us from making more neuromods. And we definitely would like to remove that copy protection and get more neuromods. Alright, well.
Attempted adjustment detected.
Okay. So that guy was just not there. Back to using the Q-beam.
Warning. Vital signs critical.
Oh man, like, are we playing on, let's just ask this question. We're still playing on easy. It's just really hard to keep an eye on the amount of damage you're taking. So yeah, we really are just getting to a point where I think I'm gonna have to, like, just be really on the ball. Did we take out these other guys floating around? I think I did. If not, we'll come down here.
Deploying.
So yeah, I just need to be really more careful. About my health and find this guy. Find this techno guy and take him out quickly.
Servers offline.
And then we'll look all around after the fact. Because I do think he is probably just floating around here. So I can force that with a leverage 3. Director Wonky, come see me if you need engraves. That gives us a hint. We do seem like we're just going all over the place in the map. Okay. That was not the gun I meant to use. I'm taking a lot of damage. Let's see if perhaps we can avoid some of that damage. Yellow tulips. Just kind of line up both of these with shotgun shots. That is a waste of shotgun shots. Yep. So you've got this guy, he's wandering around. You want to set up turrets to take him out. And it seems like odds are probably kind of low that you'd be able to do that, but maybe you can do a little bit of that. We picked up this guy. There we go. I don't even know what I'm scanning here. Let's just run out this way. Like that big explosion there definitely is not hurting him enough. I mean, we've got all these EMP charges. You would think you would want to use them. But is this guy just like spawning more of these operators, or does he have a limited number of them that he can really work with? Just get really close to him, and that will work for a while. Hey, I wonder if the glue gun would work on him particularly well. Doesn't seem like it. And it would be really crazy if like the bolt gun worked on him. If anything, it just kind of seems like what happens here is your upgraded guns prove to be the best defense you have. Let's see if we can find the password for an operator dispenser. Get some of this. Right. Move this out of the way. Over here. Move this out of the way over here. And let's see. I don't know if this isn't just a small place with a couple of recycler charges, or if we are back somewhere else. Well, it's definitely worth coming down here to potentially find a neuromod and scanning a greater mimics, not a problem either.
Specimens required.
Really don't like the voice that our suit has. But the real hope here is that we can make a lot of newer mods when we're all said and done. And we can... Let's see. We can also recycle a bunch of stuff. So we're just looking to turn the power back on. And like searching shelves at the moment, it's not a main priority. So you have this fabrication room, and looking at the map, that takes us deeper into fabrication. Unless we're looking at the wrong side. Yeah, it looks to me like this is probably the door. So yeah, fabrication's maybe unlocked now permanently, but I don't also want to accidentally walk out of this area and then have to retrace my steps. Okay. So we've got a guy. He has a key card. We see a little bit of damage here, but I don't think that would lead to a way to get under there. What is that? I mean, that just feels like a visual glitch. We don't have the password for that. Let's just look on this lower floor and see what we can find. It's probably mostly junk, but honestly, a single spare part, a single suit repair kit, single health kit. Like, for safety, we should probably just heal up there. Look under here just to see if maybe there would be a neuromod or something. Let's see, we have a fabricator, which it looks like. Let's just make sure there isn't a mimic in the fabricator, because they've done that before. Alright. Start by creating that. Could definitely use some shotgun shells. And then we're immediately out of shotgun shells. Which means we pretty much can't make anything else. So that's not getting us very far. There's a whole body we missed. Because I guess I walked right past it because I was in the scanning mode, I guess.
Attitude adjustment required.
Up we go. They definitely like to throw these greater mimics at you, and at this point I have unlocked all the morph abilities. Potentially fear resistance might be something worth thinking about if we started to fight a lot of the if we were to start to fight a lot of these I should be in this mode because this slows down time and makes our bullets fly faster. Or shoot faster. Yeah, it really is just going to be a question as to how often you actually end up fighting the nightmares. It could be very infrequently. There could be less than 6 in the entire game. Whereas compare that to like Big Daddies and Bioshock 1, it feels like you probably took on at least a dozen. But maybe not. Could just feel that way. They definitely want creepy sound effects. Let's listen to the transcribe.
Running checks. SimLab secure. Well, except for Igwe, but he'll be up all night. Speaking of up, did you see the photos of his daughter Maya? That's not his daughter. It's his wife. Are you kidding me? No, she died. Well, when Igwe was younger. It's in his records. Christ, you've seen his records? Yeah. During the security checks, looking for those red flag psychs that the brass is up in arms about. Apparently, came home, found her dead on the floor. Aneurysm. Spend your life studying the brain. The brain takes its toll. With everything else going on at the time, with the shaming. Christ. You already said that. But I don't think he heard you. He's not looking at this station, that's for sure.
So, I have no idea what the shaming is.
Alex, I figured it out. Just too late. Graves, are you still in fabrication? The receptor molecules, exotic neurotransmitters, we didn't synthesize them. And there's no terrestrial source. Graves, don't do anything drastic. You know me. You know I always have a contingency plan. We've been shoving it into our skulls. It all comes from them. But you never... I'm going to send someone to help you. I need to get this out now. Oh god, but the neuromods, they can still be fabricated. Graves, do not touch the neuromod licenses, do you hear me?
So he found out the truth. And then either he tried to rip out the neuromods himself, which I guess that's what these are, is neuromod extractors, or he was killed. So now we have the unlimited license neuromods. Certainly isn't making more evidence that you should trust Alex with the more story we get. It basically is getting down to a point where let's see. Yep. Pause now if you want to read this. Pause now if you want to read the rest of that. Like, yeah, it kind of comes down to, unless you were willing to just rush through the game, you probably wouldn't trust Alex. Fabrication department is a class 1000 clean room. Operate doors with caution pursuant of TranStar 309F. Concentration of airborne particulates must be controlled within specific limits. Renew the licenses. So this is where we renew the license. We just got a neuromod fabrication plan before. Which probably was just in case you didn't have one before. Pause now if you want to read this. 3 neuromods are apparently missing in this area. But that doesn't inherently mean I will find 3 neuromods. With all these posters, you would think there might be some like secret thing. But not so much. Yep. Okay. Still got the creepy noise playing. I'm still trying to find a place where we could get the power turned back on. It does just kind of feel like what might happen is the power. Yeah, I don't want to go back down that way. Oops. That was my fault. Oh, and this is just straight up repair this, isn't it? So it isn't turn the power back on. Alright, transfer junk. Start with that. Recycler charges I think are totally worth it to keep. I could split this and put that there because we don't need that. We can get rid of those. Cure fear and drink 1 alcohol. Might be something to think about later on. Let's see, get rid of that. Get rid of that. Still have yet to figure out what these booster shots are all about. Get rid of that. I think at this point, I probably do want some more spare parts. We've got a good amount of suit repair kits, so I'm going to dismantle this wrench. And not transfer it. There's also, I think, a good argument to keep 7 health kits. Could get rid of half of these psi points and be fairly safe. That'll give us a bunch more material, which we definitely need. The problem, though, certainly is we're not getting to a level. This is just all exotic material. You probably need that to make neuromods. Thought I saw a prompt there to do something, but I guess not. So this was the doors that we opened before. Okay. Getting a little turned around here. Okay. So, neuromods. How many more neuromods can we create? Probably a decent amount. The thing is, we'll run out of the metal material. So unless I was willing to do something else. Okay. So, time to make some decisions. These are going to be big decisions. Hacking 4 we haven't really seen a need for. Gunsmith 2, I think we have a good argument to do that. Whereas leverage 3, I think we can get around that, and repair 3, I think we can get around that. We have 11 neuromods right now, so toughness with 3 also would be an argument. Let's see. I hate to choose this, but I'm going to go with this one. And then just increasing my health. Or increasing my damage. You know what? I'm going to go with increasing my damage. Again. So. The hope here now is that we can select this, upgrade the range, I guess, since we're using this. Alright. And upgrade the accuracy, I guess. And I don't think we have any way in which we can craft weapon upgrade kits, right? What would we need for that? Just more metal. Like we're just constantly running out of metal. So can we sacrifice something big to get metal, or could we throw a recycling thing in here to get metal? Let's just do this. This is going to go badly. I hit the wrong button. I did not really deserve to succeed there, but whatever.
Requesting new operator.
This guy's probably going to just...
TranStar, Civil 495, Science Class Operator, ready to deploy.
Scanning. Neuroimaging shows your mental resources. Operate. This should help. That should help you concentrate.
Yeah, he gave me a neuromod. A Psi operator. That was not who I was expecting. Right. If only I could just pick up more things and put them in the recycler. So what could we get metal out of? Suit repair kits? No. Psionic sets? Couple. Let's just propose getting rid of 3 of those. And then 3 of those. I wanted a spare part, but do I really need a spare part that badly? No. Recycler charges? We have so many of them and they're not that helpful. Yeah. This is getting very painful, certainly, as far as just what you're having to recycle just to get the resources you want. Probably could make some more neuromods too. Which is more important? Neuromods or bullets? Let's see. Okay. Shotgun. Upgrade. Damage being upgraded on the shotgun. It's probably helpful. Next thing, we have 4. So, unless I wanted to increase my health, probably just want to wait. Increase damage with security weapons to 150%. We're at 120% now. Yeah. I think just increasing damage is the right move. They're incredibly low on bullets. Now, have we looked at this whole area as far as fabrication goes? I think so. But this is definitely not where we were going. Anyways. I'll just look over here. We were trying to work our way into this, which we could just get in by hacking too, and well, quick save. I guess you could cheat that way and hack. I suspect it's very possibly a case where I could have gone through that tunnel a different direction, but maybe not. Volunteer testing. It's funny as you've got this. Where's that face coming from? Where's that reflection coming from? Not that poster. See it? Seeing a poster on the outside? Maybe this is a see-through poster. Right. So we just got into a new area, and you would expect that a new game would... Let's see, authorized personnel, clearance required. You would... Let's just go ahead and bash this guy. Sounds like somebody big is wandering around here. Like a phantom. Let's see what we can see about him as far as research. So maybe the nightmare was the character we saw before. Is he voltaic phantom? Or just a regular phantom? Weakness, glue, immunity, EMP. Scannable powers.
New psionic aptitude available.
Will this turn red when we can actually hit him? Yeah, maybe this is the old 1-2 punch that you're really supposed to do. Yeah, that didn't really feel like a successful application, though, of strategy. There's something around here. And I probably should just have, from the word go, always been using the wrench on these mimics just as a way of saving bullets, and that's probably why I'm having so much trouble in this game as far as just having bullets. I want to play this very much like Bioshock, where you're running around and running and gunning, and the game very much does not want that to be a thing. Where'd he go? Even with slowed down time, though, these mimics are capable of jumping around and bouncing on a wall and causing enough trouble. These doors are just unlocked, even though they feel like they would have been locked. And I desperately need more stuff, not more bullets, not more junk. Go ahead and heal up. And these med bays at this point are basically just copy paste. Like extra secondary places where you can find fabrication plans for things that you should have found anyways. Interesting. There's an object in here, but no way to reach it, because these don't open.
Requesting new operator.
Well, we're at full health at the moment, so
TranStar Pyramid 490 medical class operator ready to deploy. Please stand
the only
clear
thing I
of-
really could get
Hello,
repaired
nice to see you.
at the moment would be a suit repair. Okay. There's a bunch of medical stuff. It could have been mimics. We have test subjects, one of which has a very high compatibility, and everybody else seeming to have very low compatibility. Yeah, and unless you were just going to sit down in here and pull out a medical neuromod out of you, which if you pulled out any neuromods, it would be like going back in time. Now, I definitely feel like that was the gimmick that they were going to probably go with at some point, was the general idea of when you die, a neuromod gets removed from you. Let's see. Oh, I never equipped that chip. Oh well. We now have 6 things, so just increasing your firearm damage. Sounds like a right move to start with. Next time we get 6 neuromods, which may not be that much, we'll go with leverage 3. Or, yeah, I think leverage 3 is probably better than repair 3. We are going to hit a point fairly quickly where, let's pick the map. I'm not really certain that I would want to use any more neuromods, and then we're going to just have a bunch of neuromods that maybe at the last second in the game we pour into something else. So there's like an observation deck up there, but that may not actually be accessible. Or maybe I start finding neuromods and just turning them into resources for other things. I'm trying to look up here and see if there is possibly a upper area in which I could have snuck into this whole section. It doesn't seem like it's the case though. See if we can find some other things worth looking at. Just like one more corpse. Anything back here worth getting? Not really. Where are we now on the map? We're in that area, I think, that we couldn't access before. Spare parts. Pause now if you want to read this. Seems like we're getting more backstory on the white noise condition, which maybe there is something about the white noise condition in particular that's really, really helpful. Like, or that in some way connects to the neuromods in the story. This is like the piano area where we saw a phantom before. And so maybe there is something specifically around that. The idea of making white noise with these speakers. We have seen some speakers around in the game, so maybe there is some kind of trick where if I had been turning on speakers throughout the entire game, it would have made areas more safe, more secure. I would find that a little weird. Right, so this unlocks this door. So, is there a way to get in here? Looks like we can do this. Skill recorder. So it seems like this might be where they make the neuromods by having a skill recorder. And I guess if I had the morph ability, I could have morphed in through there. Not gonna get electrocuted by that, are we? No. Couple of Typhon lures. Do we have a password? No, let's look around here. Suit repair kit. So someone in here was playing the piano. They were trying to record that skill to make a new neural mod. You can see that they have chessboards and ping pong tables and running abilities. Just kind of everything you would expect that might exist if you were recording people's skills. I hope the game doesn't get funny with putting blocks around. So that's one more door unlocked. Yeah. So it seems like, at least for level 2, we've probably seen everything. For level 1, seems like we may have seen everything. Not that there isn't a possibility that there's something more. For level 3, we've probably seen most of everything. And then level 4, we've probably seen everything. So we've probably seen everything. That'd be my guess. Let's go hack this password, this computer, before we forget about it. And see, this is somewhat of an earlier area, so if there was going to be a post-it note somewhere, this would be kind of the place to do it. I feel like there's going to be an achievement for playing certain musical instruments, or all the musical instruments in the entire game. Items reserved for recording purposes only. Okay, hack. Level 2 hack shouldn't be that difficult. That being said, who knows? Just gonna try to avoid hitting the shock places. Let's see. Another decontamination exercise. What do you think they found? Boy, are they scrappy. Like, they are scraping the bottom of the barrel as far as story goes. At that just like one sentence. Almost certainly that it is something that would really only be satisfactory if you were getting that kind of as the last thing you ever got in the game, because you're collecting every single possible collectible. See, this always had this like weird repair icon on it, but there's no way to repair this. It just feels like that's glitched, and that is glitched through multiple save files and loads and reloads. And there was 2 of them, so even if you detect one, what does that really mean? Now I have to try and figure out where the other corpse is to get the resources. We are just constantly still having to be in this coded scan mode, which just for the chance that there's something around here. And if these storage things were going to refill, coming back to this area in particular is really setting yourself up to see, that was like 2 shots. That really makes that feel worthwhile. We may very well still end up coming back to this whole area. Like I could totally see coming back to this whole area because there's just like one more thing that would have to happen, or power would come back or something, or we'd have just like one more ability. Like we have this whole operator here. Let's get out of this mode for a second. So we've got like a whole operator, which probably means that there is something as big as a nightmare in this area. And we've been going long enough that really I should call it a episode. But yeah, let's just live with it. Just figure out which thing you're about to hit. Yeah. Yeah, if things were going to reset, they almost certainly would have reset here. And that there would be more food, more items to pick up. Maybe storyline wise that doesn't make the most amount of sense, but I'm not really here. Should I shoot this guy, or maybe see if I can just smash it? Did that blow that doorway open? I don't think so. Okay, where are we heading? We're heading this way. They like to jump behind you. It's crazy though to potentially have like a grindy aspect to this game and then just have nothing. Right. So if I was gonna hack this, I would need a level 3 hack. The good news though is, even though it's been a long time since we've seen the video, I'm pretty sure it's 5150. And inside of this we have a Hypno Psi fabrication plan, 3 Hypno Psis, 6 rare exotic materials, and a chipset. Psychoactive charger. So, something pretty big I think here. Slowly regenerate Psi over time. Versus Shotgun Critical ++, or mimic detection. I don't think I would do either one of those. However, if at some point we decided to upgrade our psionic, what do we need to do actually to do that? To upgrade our scopes. What would upgrade our scope more? Seems almost like we had this combat focus at the beginning and now we don't. And this is crazy because something here should upgrade our scope, but nothing here looks to me like it does upgrade the scope. So where was that? Here it is. So increase your psi pool here with 2. Then this would allow you to install 2 more psi chips, 2 more psycho chips. So yeah, late game, I guess I'm pushing neuromods down this way to increase my psi powers, even though those abilities are not really the Typhon abilities, but they feel related to the Typhon abilities, certainly because you can't really use them. Okay. Let's see. I guess the question would come down to, do I think it's probably worth it to take this guy out because we can scan him again. Nightmare is haunting you. Seems almost like the nightmare. We're in trouble though. There's a nightmare around, and so we do straight up have like a Big Daddy aspect. It seems like when you clear off an area, I need to see it. I don't inherently need to fight it. And honestly, I'm not in a good position to fight it anyways. So I'm hoping I could possibly do is just sneak my way around. If we can scan it and not fight it, that would be great. Might be that the nightmare is actually very far away from where we are. And certainly, I guess you now know what they were probably testing for, is that would you have had neuromod abilities to morph or to move things remotely or do anything that was even slightly magical. I don't even know where the nightmare could be. We've got like 30 more seconds to potentially find it. It's like you're not hearing a big growling or anything like that. So either this nightmare is nowhere near me, and he's like through the decontamination,
Morgan, I found a satellite project dealing with remote psychotronic signaling, RPSS-X5. I think it could spoof a neural signature that matches yours. Plain English, you could use it to get that new Typhon off your back. Latest tech logs show the satellite was damaged, though. You'd have to find a replacement part.
Okay, where would that be? Find a satellite communication device in the hardware labs. And I think that probably should be a high priority. Certainly. Just get the nightmare off my back. Oops. There's still a lot of that where it's just, oh, you're taking a little bit of damage. B, and then rush over here. I don't know if I may have had the password for that. Anyways. Let's see. Unlock skill recorder, which that was gotten us there. Download area map, which is a little too late. It might be somewhat helpful. Pause now if you want to read this. And if we were going to locate anybody in this area. So yeah, level 1 is all the simulation lab. We've been over that place all over many times. Level 2 is this. We've been everywhere. Level 3 is this place, and I think we've done everything there. Level 4 is this place, and I think we've probably done everything there. So I think we've probably done everything here. The next question certainly would be there's not a terrible argument against doing the hardware lab. Crew quarters are in a different section. We've done everything in the neuromod division, plus we've set ourselves up to craft more neuromods if necessary, although I'm not even sure I really should be crafting neuromods. I really should be crafting bullets, particularly if we're going to be fighting the nightmare. This exotic material that we have is quite high. It's just the mineral material that we're having trouble with. Yeah, we have a lot of junk. And as far as neuromods go, if we start just running into a whole bunch of extra neuromods, we'll get hacking up to 4, even though we haven't seen anything after we get leverage up to 3, and repair up to 3 and suit up to 3. Then at that point, lab technician to potentially upgrade our special weapons makes some sense, and just increasing our health makes some sense. Stamina or overall movement speed, let's see, jump incredibly high and run very fast might be useful. Combat focus increased might be useful. Better stealth might be useful. Sneak attacks might be useful. All of these things seem fairly useful without crossing the line and doing more of these types of mods. What's our status as far as radiation at this point? We're back down to 0, so I was able to completely ignore that and get the radiation downward. Stats wise, the numbers are going up and up and up, and we are definitely going through just a ton of everything. Notes and emails and audio logs, keys and passwords. Not as many of those as you would have thought. We have a decent amount of things, plans. I wouldn't be surprised if we don't run into too many more of those. I guess I am looking specifically for more weapon upgrade kits to the craft. As far as the main objective, enter deep storage, arboretum. Disgruntled employee is also in deep storage. Search Alex's office. So after we did the hardware lab, there definitely is either an argument to go to the crew quarters or something else. Honestly, there's a decent argument to checking out the shuttle bay too, just to see what's there, if we can access that area. Weirdly, I don't feel like we have been to life support or the cargo bay or the power plant, and that all feels like that would be extra locations to investigate also. It would be very strange if all of a sudden we get to deep storage, we get to the arboretum, and then the game just ends there. Crew quarters definitely should be a secondary thought. I still don't know of a real way to find the security, the smuggling stuff. So I think that puts us in a kind of weird position where there can be some smuggling stuff. And then in here we can just look around in this one area and think about maybe if I've missed something. This very first area, I do think there might be something up there. Let's see. If I was to do this, this gets me up here. Then your only other options would be if there was something in here somewhere. Yeah, there could be smuggling stashes in the toilets. That would definitely give the toilets more of a use. You can definitely clear more of a path. But even even when you see these mimics and are prepared for them, they still can randomly attack you. More than the 3 health from drinking water will get you. And that scanner still is super annoying. So yeah, in the 2 hours and 30 minutes, as this episode has gone way too long, we were able to make some decent progress. Maybe not stay on the main story as much as it might be worth it, or you might have wanted. But otherwise, I think I'm in a pretty good position. I guess I probably would want to run back to the office and just recycle, since I have a bunch of garbage to recycle, and try and get some more bullets. Then I could see myself checking out the shuttle bay and at least unlocking the airlock to the shuttle bay. We can see there's an airlock here that's locked and an airlock here that's locked, so it makes sense to do that. We might find a secondary mission in the shuttle bay, in particular since there was a possibility of following Delta around and listening to Delta more. But eventually we will have to go to deep storage and the Arboretum, do the side missions in the Arboretum too. It may be that the nightmare itself only is supposed to show up a couple times, and it isn't really trying to be as much of a experience. Like, I guess I could probably repair my suit while we're here, like the Big Daddies. It might be much more of a scripted type of attempt of a story, although it showing up 3 times and then you having to hide it from it or defeat it probably wouldn't feel much different from it just showing up randomly. Alright, that's going to be it for this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want to friend or follow me on any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below. And if you want to support me further, there's a link to Patreon, or you can friend me on Steam and gift me a game off my wishlist. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.